Do you know what you need to be buying right now? A cheap old projector. Back in my parents' house, we used to have one in the shed, and it was great for many years until the lamp blew. But you can now get cheap projectors for like $30 on eBay. Guess what? I bought 2 of them and we are going to unbox them and take a look. So let's see whether you should buy an old projector. The first projector I'm opening up was only $30, including shipping, which is a bargain. It seems to come with a power cable and a truly insane amount of bubble wrap, which I'll be sure to repurpose. This one was listed as only having 300 lamp hours, meaning it should have lots of life left. God, I haven't seen one of these in years, and I'm pretty sure we had something similar in the school computer room back in primary school. The Epson Emp-S3 originally came out in 2005, featuring an 800 by 600 resolution and 1600 lumens of brightness. You've got composite, component, S-video and VGA inputs, which is a fairly standard selection for a 21-year-old projector. I think the lens needs a bit of a wipe off since it is quite dirty, and thankfully it comes up looking very clean. The air intake filter is fairly clean, but will soon disintegrate by the looks of it. It did come with a quality power cable, however it's not the right one for this projector. Taking a look at the next one, I really splurged out for this one, totaling $34 including shipping. These were bought from the same seller, and just as much bubble wrap was keeping this one safe as I saw in the last package. This Hitachi Cp-x2520 features a high resolution and brightness, coming out a few years after the Epson that I purchased. The air filter is a lot more substantial, which makes sense as it needs a lot of airflow to keep the lamp cooled, and considering that this allegedly came out in 2010, I'm surprised not to see DVI or even HDMI inputs. Either way, for the money I paid for these, I think these are some decent bits of hardware, assuming they still work. The Epson fired up with no issue, and with only 300 hours of use, that lamp has plenty of life left. Given how low the lens sits in the Hitachi, I was expecting it to shift upwards once turned on. However, it doesn't move at all. Apparently the plastic piece at the base of the lens doesn't actually get in the way during operation. And unlike the Epson, this one has some zoom functionality, and both of these units require you to set the focus though. You can set the keystone in the settings, and to get them sitting as level as possible, you can adjust these small plastic screws. You can either turn them for fine adjustment, or press down the release tabs for fast action. And while these aren't super dirty, I thought it was a good idea to remove some of the grime with a bit of eucalyptus oil. The seller had a lot of similar projectors for sale, and I really wonder where they all came from. I would be guessing schools or some sort of office environment. Do schools even use projectors anymore? It's honestly been a while since I was last in a classroom. I am quite curious to see how you access the lamps within. The Epson bulb comes out very easily once I loosened off 2 visible screws. Now that is one bright light, which apparently contains mercury. And after doing a bit of searching, I found a compatible replacement on AliExpress for only $20, which is super cheap. And is the lamp in the newer Hitachi model just as easy to replace? With 2 screws loosened off, the assembly pops up and out of the projector. That is one heck of a serious bulb, with a large air vent for cooling. And once again, AliExpress has a very cheap replacement if this was to fail. To test these ancient things, I'll be using an old Alienware laptop that's almost as old, and I love just how aggressively gamer the design is, and thankfully it is old enough to have both VGA and HDMI outputs, and I'll be comparing the old models to this relatively new one that a viewer recently sent me. Yeah. Okay, well... It's the EZ-D1 Max. What a name. And thank you very much to Sebastian for sending this over. I think this is a fairly good example of what a few $100s can get you in a modern projector. And unlike the ones I bought, this should have fairly decent audio. And when it comes to inputs, you don't have a lot to choose from. These older models really spoiled us, didn't they? And this one actually doesn't even have the power supply built in. So why is the casing so big then? For my testing, I felt as if 1.7 meters was a reasonable distance to aim for. The only room with nothing obstructing the walls was in our bedroom. Alright Epson, show us what you can do. Straight away I was very impressed by just how sharp the image is. From a normal viewing distance, the seemingly low 800 by 600 resolution doesn't really matter. it looks great to me. YouTube playback was also decent. This is adequately bright for indoor use. The highest brightness setting draws about 180 watts, the lower brightness setting about 160. The cooling fan runs louder at the higher brightness setting, and to extend the lamp life, I'd probably suggest using the lower brightness setting. And as I found, the low brightness option was still very much usable. For $30, this would make for a great projector to set up in a shed for watching movies or playing retro games. Money well spent. But how does it compare to the seemingly superior and newer Hitachi? It has the ability to auto keystone for easy setup. Gaming on here also looks and feels great. It's surprisingly responsive. And the high resolution isn't all that noticeable in this game, but I could definitely tell while playing a 1080p YouTube video. There's clearly more detail thanks to the extra pixels. The higher brightness setting, called normal mode, draws just shy of 260 watts. Even though it's brighter and drawing more power than the Epson, it's also a bit quieter. Surprisingly, the Eco mode actually draws just as much as the highest brightness setting from the Epson. For $34, the Hitachi, even though it's got just shy of 1,500 lamp hours, is a bargain for the money. But how does this fairly modern 1080p projector compare? Well, for starters, not only does it have automatic keystoning, it's got autofocus. And after quite a bit of fiddling, I got the HDMI input to work, and I must say, gaming at 1080p is great on here. It's also natively widescreen, ideal for more modern content and gaming. But while the focus is quite sharp at the center of the image, it's soft near the edges. Perhaps I have it a bit too close to the wall. It also draws less power than both the cheap projectors I bought from eBay. And oddly enough, if you increase the brightness above like 50%, it doesn't really draw more power, it simply makes the picture look washed out and horrible. And while the built-in speakers are pretty good, the fans are even louder than the $34 Hitachi.
Simply another potential point of failure, just like the...
But as you can hear, that cooling fan is quite noticeable. But the best part about this one is that you don't need to plug anything in. It has Android and apps built right in. I was quite surprised by just how usable the cheap projectors have been. Paired with an old computer, this can be a lot of fun. Although my vintage Cashies PC's hard drive has sadly finally died. Projectors have come a long way in recent decades, but thankfully to get a good one, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
As long as the lamps still have a bit of life in them, these things can be really good. And the older ones are actually fairly decent. If you were to buy a really cheap one off of Temu or something like that, it's probably not going to be anything like it's advertised, and it's going to be a complete waste of your money. But these things, for just how cheap they are, I'd say are totally worth a gamble. If you want to get one of these, there are plenty of them on eBay, really cheap. Just make sure that the lamps don't have thousands of hours, otherwise they may not last very long. I was lucky that the ones I've got seem totally fine. And yes, I'm going to be giving away that newer projector that I got sent by a fan over on Twitter, so make sure you're following me on there. Yes, I know, I still call it Twitter, I'm one of those people. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.